Okay, so our title today is Solve Equations, and I'm going to abbreviate by multiply or divide. Solve equations by multiply or divide. Now, the goal is the same. The goal is to get the variable alone. Get the variable alone. Get it alone on one side. Get the variable alone. And how do we do that? Same thing as before. We use inverse operations. All right, do you remember what inverse means? Inverse means opposite. That's what inverse means. It means the opposite. In operations, remember, we have add, subtract, multiply, and divide. So use inverse operations, opposite of whatever operation it is. And do you remember the rules for multiplying, dividing with negatives? Let's just put that right over here to the side very quickly. And I'm going to just say remember. All right, now I was trying to color coordinate, but I messed up. But positive times a positive times a negative, and a negative times a negative. Well, remember that a positive times a positive is positive. Positive times negative. If you have one negative when multiplying, the answer is negative. And if you have two negatives when multiplying, the answer is positive. Remember that two negatives cancel when multiplying. If there's one negative, it's negative. If it's two negatives, they cancel. It's just positive. And so that's what you need to remember when multiplying. And remember when we were using integers and we had, like a tongue? Well, this is not it, all right? You're not using a tongue. No, these are the rules for multiplying or dividing. Okay, I'm just gonna separate this. Okay, so if you're planning ahead, here's what I'm doing. I'm going to put 12 problems here. Actually, I'll do 8 of them with you, and you do 4. But that's how I'm doing it here. I'm going to try and do 4 going down and 3 across. You can, now if you want to use a backside of your paper, that's fine. If you're a large writer. But I just want to let you know what I am doing. So I'm going to try and fit this all on one page. Okay, so here's our first problem. So the problem is 5x equals negative 20. Now it's best if you use 2 different colors. You don't have to, maybe a pencil and a pen. It just comes out a lot better that way. And remember that there are 2 sides, and if you want to draw a line, go ahead and do that. There are two sides to the equation. Whatever you do to one, you have to do the other. To get this x by itself, I need to get rid of the 5. So to get rid of the 5, this is times 5. Now, they don't write that in there, but this is 5 times x. So what do you want to do? You want to divide by 5. You divide by the same number. But if I do that on this side, I have to do it on the other side. You have to keep it balanced. And if I do that, if you notice, this side will, excuse me a second, that just disappears. That becomes 1. 5 divided by 5 is 1. And you are just left with x. That's it. And then over on this side equals, we have 5 goes into 20 4 times. Oh wait, there's one negative. One negative, therefore the answer is negative. And that is it. What you do to one side, you must do to the other side. Okay, let's see, we have x divided by negative 9 equals 3. Okay, I'm just going to draw the line here, just so we know. Whatever I do to one side, I must do to the other side. So to get this x by itself, I need to get rid of negative 9. Since it's divide, I have to do the opposite. Well, the opposite of negative 9, divide by negative 9, is multiply by negative 9. Remember, it's the operation that we're doing the opposite of. So I multiplied by negative 9. That means over here, I multiply by negative 9. So what happens when we do that? What's left? Let's see. This becomes 0, or not 0, but 1. Negative 9 divided by negative 9 is 1. And that just leaves us with the letter x. Bring down the equals. On the other side, we have 3 times 9. Negative 9. 3 times 9 is 27. And there's one negative. So it's negative 27. And that is our answer. Okay, number 3. All right, we want the letter by itself, and here's like the wall. Okay, you have the left side and the right side. So to get rid of negative 6, because I want the letter by itself, to get rid of it, since it's times, see that little, they don't put it times, but it's times. So you need to divide. All right, so if I divide by same number, negative 6. You see, because that will cancel out. But you have to do it over on this side also. All right, so this becomes just 1, right? Negative 6 divided by negative 6 is just 1. And you are left with the letter x. On the other side, 6 goes into 24 4 times. And there's one negative. So this must be negative 4 then. Okay, number 4. Okay, notice that, again, you have a left and right side. I'll just put a little line there. This is like a wall. Whatever you do one side, you must do the other side. I have x. I want to get rid of this negative 4. Now that's times, so I must divide. You divide by the same number. The reason why we divide by the same number is because this will reduce to just 1. And 1 times x is x. That's why we do that. But if you do it on the left side, you must do it on the right side to get the right answer. You got to be fair about this. So let's see. 4 goes into 28 7 times. Oh, and there's 1 negative. So it's negative. Maybe you're noticing a pattern here, but if the number is on the bottom next to x, then you put a number on top. Both sides. And if the number is on top next to x, then you put the same number on the bottom. And right here, see that? You have a number on top, we'll put the same number on the bottom, but both sides. Okay, so we have a left, whatever you do to one side, you must do the other side to get it correct. Notice you have this is divided by 2, so you must multiply by 2. See, if there's a number on the bottom, you need to put the same number up on top, both sides. And why do we do that? Because this will, you could say cancel, but it reduces to just 1, right? It reduces to just 1. And so you just have the letter x. On the right side, 16 times 2. What is it again? 32. And that is it. And notice it makes sense. 32 divided by 2. Half of 32 is 16. It does work out. Okay, number 6. Now, if you want to put a line, that's okay, because there's a left and a right side. All right, so since this is divided by 9, right, you want to get rid of this. It's divided by 9. You need to multiply by 9. But you need to do it to both sides. When most people look at this problem, they think the answer is 2, because 9 times 2 is 18. But that's not the way it works. You'd be incorrect. So this reduces to 1, and you just have the letter x. Bring down the equals. Now we have 9 times 18. Let's see, 9 times 8 is 72. And 9 and 7 would make 16. So it's 162. Okay, number 7. (8x) equals negative 48. You have a left and a right side. That's like a wall. So let's see. I want the letter by itself. I have to get rid of x. Since it's times, I divide. See that? Because if I divide by 8, that cancels and you are left with x. But you know, you need to do the same to the other side. So let's see. 8 goes into 48 6 times, right? 6 times 8 is 48. And there is one negative, so the answer is negative. So -6. Now, if you put this number back in here, 8 times -6 is -48. It works. That's how you check your answer. You just kind of plug it in there mentally. Okay, number 8 problem. -6x equals -42. You have your left and your right side. So let's see, I want the letter by itself. Get rid of that number. So I will divide by that number. Because when you do it, that reduces to just 1. 1 times x is x. But you need to do it the other side. So 6 goes into 42 7 times. And 2 negatives cancel. When multiplying, 2 negatives will cancel. So it's just +7. And let's see, -6 times 7 is -42. It works. Okay, now you will do 4 more problems, 9 through 12. And if you have room on your paper, you could just do them along the side like so. 9, 10, 11, and 12. For credit, show the multiplying or dividing on both sides of the equals. So you have to show both the multiplying or the dividing, whatever you're doing, on both sides of the equals to receive credit.